To another brand new live edition of the Roundtable, coming to you live from the WWDBTV studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. Wait a minute, but I'm shine between two of us now.
That's right, man.
Holy cow!
Let's see.
Yeah, that's right. Planes may be landing momentarily.
I tried to match yours.
That's right.
Aliens, man, going to come here and land too.
As you can, well, if you're down in Henderson, accordingly they did.
That's what I heard.
You are watching the round. We are back at full force. We sent Leonard Nimoy out, even though posthumously, in search of Rick Upchurch, and guess what? We actually found him, and he's back in studio, spending some time. That's right. Spending time back in Ohio with family, checking everything out over there, and experiencing a tornado.
Absolutely, and in that tornado, we saw it happen. We saw it, the origin of it. It started as a little dust devil, and then all of a sudden, this thing grew into an EF2.
Oh my!
And you know, yes, we were driving right towards, and I told my partner Roger, that you were talking to. I said, "Stop right now!" It was pulling on the truck. The truck was like it was coming up off the ground. And not only that, when I looked up, I saw Dorothy. I said, "There's Dorothy right there, man." I said, "This is Toto behind it, and the Wicked Witch." I said, "This is a real thing, guys." Yep, for real.
Oh my
real stuff, gang. And it was scary. 9 tornadoes sat down that day.
And I saw today, Colorado, Nebraska, Texas, up where you were. I mean, they were all over the place.
Midwest.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And then you got Texas. My daughter lives down there, and I talked with her. She said they are boiling. She said they could probably put lobster out there and steam them up. Man, it's so hot down there.
They're hotter
in Texas.
than we haven't even hit 100 here yet.
No,
and those
today
guys
was
are
unusually
110.
cool,
I heard 110 over there in Texas in the Midwest.
Well, I just spent 5 days in Tucson, and every day was in the low 100s during the day.
Even Tucson.
Yep, Tucson is even hotter.
Well, you know, guys, they say we are now, instead of we're in El Nino right now, and that's the hottest time of anything, because once again you have the heat coming up out of the south, and you have the jet stream that's up so high, and you got all that hot moist weather that's coming up, and it's colliding with the cold, and it is causing havoc.
I think we're going to pay for it here though in July and August. I have
heat,
a feeling.
You mean?
Yes.
Well, as long as my pool stays wet, my air conditioner keeps working.
Right.
Outside.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, the guy in the end, we simply know him as the Mouth, Mr. George Miklos, is with us. Thank you for watching us on Facebook or YouTube, whichever channel you're looking on. You can give us a call, 702-992-3207. Now, of course, if you're driving somewhere, like here in Vegas, it's 4 o'clock, so it's almost at dinner time. Download the WWDB-TV app to your phone. If you have Android, WWDB-TV LV. If you have iPhone stuff. And if you want to wait 72 hours, you can certainly do that. Our show will be available on Roku under the WWDB-TV channel. And not only will you be able to check out TRT, see how I shortened that now?
Yes.
TRT, but you'll also be able to check out the
Turt.
What?
That's what it's
Turt. What's another good word for plethora?
Oh, I was
a bunch.
A bunch.
Yeah, right.
A bunch of shows from WWDB-TV. All right, give us a call, 702. Supercalifragilistic. I had tried to have my kids try to spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and they failed miserably.
Me too.
Anyway,
I can't imagine trying to spell it.
I tried spelling it once. To these kids, I got it right. I don't know if I actually did.
Hey, voice.
Yes,
can
sir.
I say something to you?
Please.
I love the decor, man. I love the shirts, man. You're awful good. Oh, yeah. Awful good, man.
He's playing with. Oh my God!
You're awful good. I love it.
Well,
great shirt.
Yes,
representing, man.
And we have hats, and soon they'll be available for anybody to purchase as well. But yeah, I figured.
I love it.
Although, of course, you guys are donning your shirts. I tonight, however, did not. Don't know why. Even like
you're the voice.
Nah, but
you're the Hall of Famer. You got to be different, man. You're the lead dog. Have you ever heard the lead dog?
Yeah, I have.
Lead dog.
You're a lead dog.
I'm a lead something or other. I don't know if it's I'm a dog in a different shade. But anyway, after this, I have to arrive. 5:30 dinner reservations at BJ's restaurant up there by Red Rock.
Yeah.
My daughter Alyssa, she's flying home tonight on the red eye back to Broadway. And we're meeting my dad and his significant other with my wife and everything before we go to the airport. And we're leaving right to the airport from dinner. So
your daughter lives in New York City now?
she's working on Broadway. She's a substitute sound designer.
Wow.
She's working Phantom. She's working.
Wonderful.
What the heck is the one? Why I always forget the patriotic one? Why can I never remember that one?
Hamilton!
Thank you. Shut up. Chicago.
That's still
I think.
going on.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 shows she's working. And then with her reputation, and God bless her, I mean, she gets calls all the time from other shows to come in. Actually, the producer just called her. She was here setting up Awakening. You know that show?
Yes.
They've gone back to the drawing board 3 times now to fix it.
Yes.
She keeps getting calls from that director and producer to come do other jobs.
Wow.
So thank God
She's doing good.
She's doing great.
How long
God
has she been in New York City?
What's
How
that?
long has she been living there?
Since January, but she's not in the city. She lives just in the outskirts in Upper Jersey. And
Oh, okay.
trains in.
Across
That's
the
What
bridge.
you called the voice? Is she called the sound?
Actually, I call her the sound doctor.
That's cool.
My other daughter, I call her Radar, because when Ricky and I, may rest in peace, when we did football broadcasts for the Las Vegas Kings, the semi-pro team, Stacy came up into the box with us every once in a while. So what are they called in the booth with the person with the binoculars? They are called the spotter.
Okay.
So I didn't want to call my daughter, "Hey, Spot, come here, Spot."
Spot.
No.
Woof woof.
So I went with Radar instead, and it stuck. So
That would have been child abuse, you know
yes.
that.
or at least child labor.
Yeah,
laws,
yeah,
one or the other.
Come here.
But
dog.
anyway, so we're
This one's for Rick,
okay.
and I don't know if you remember
Sure.
J.C. Pearson.
Yes.
Kansas City
Yeah,
Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I know it.
He said to say hi.
Oh, absolutely, man.
This guy, I got to tell you,
Is he
man,
doing a show here?
No, he
Then who cares? Anyway, no, I'm just
He
kidding.
did do an interview on the show.
Oh, okay. Then
But
that
I got to tell you about this guy. I have a friend in Kansas City that is a fanatical Chiefs fan. I mean, fanatical. He did a shout out for her, and just a little short, 30-second. Hey, here's a shout out to Mom Cowboy. Blah 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 blah. And when I sent that to her, she just about started crying.
Oh,
There you go.
I
Is
just
that
thought
him?
That was so cool.
There you go.
It's calling in right now to get his money.
There
from
you go.
Anyway, no, so that's good. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Listen, we got a lot going on. Where should we begin? Let's talk about what's been big news
Yeah,
for the last
the
couple of
sub.
days. The sub, for those who've been living under a rock or in a cave, submersive sub with 5 people, captain and 4 others. We're going down to see the Titanic, and they didn't
Ended
come
up
back,
like the
basically.
Titanic. They
right?
ended up like it.
Like the
Yeah.
Titanic, yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently debris was found today. Apparently the nose of the submersible sub was part of the debris,
Oh, it was okay.
according
And
to
the
the
tail.
Coast Guard and the tail. So
Mhm.
they're finding remnants, which leads to only one conclusion. Like you said,
Yeah.
it imploded,
Yes.
and the
Well,
survivors
they said it
apparently.
takes 2.5 hours to get to the Titanic.
Right.
So an hour and a half in, they lost contact, and again, I think that's exactly what happened,
Right.
and that's why. But Rick and I discussed it earlier before the shows. Can you imagine? I think that's the better way to go than to sit in the dark for 3 or 4 days in the cold and contemplate your demise
Right.
with the other guys while
you're
you're
losing
sitting
air.
there. Yeah, that would be that would be pure hell.
Sure. Absolutely. It's unfortunate, isn't
Mhm.
it, guys?
Oh,
Once
absolutely.
again, when you're talking about exploring and being able to go down to the depths that they went to, that's almost like going into outer space reverse,
Mhm.
right, guys? And we don't know what's down there. We don't know how certain things are going to react.
Mhm.
This was a test on this thing. And some folks said, hey, I'm not going down there with you because this thing is not certified. And once you get it certified, now people are more comfortable. And now we understand why this one gentleman said, I'm not going, because if you don't certify this thing, anything can happen. And that's exactly what.
And I don't understand the mindset of the CEO who was on here in Paris. Why would you even take that chance? It's not being a man and an explorer. First of all, why would you even take that chance? I heard somebody on the radio, well, we get up every day, we go out in the world, we drive to work. Yeah, because we have to do that certain stuff.
Right.
You don't have to take a submersible to go see the Titanic and risk your life.
That's right.
But if you're a billionaire and you've run out of ways to spend money,
Somehow the mindset's differently. They
Right.
just think they're
No.
invincible or something.
No, I'm buying coins. That's what I'm doing.
No.
I'm buying collectibles.
Right.
I think that's
safer.
pretty safe.
It is.
funny thing is, so am I. If you want more information, contact Rick.
That's
Anyway.
right.
No, but what I'm saying is, when you're a billionaire, you can only spend so much money at a time that you're right. How many houses and cars and you got kids. You want to
get
sit
bored.
You get bored. So what else are you going to do? Now, here's the thing, and we're hearing reports now that some of the shortcomings in the building of this thing, there's supposed to be 7 inches of insulation, basically. Instead, it was only 5. Somebody went out and literally for $80 bought a gamer console, which is what they were controlling this thing with. Now, Josh Gates, who's a host of a show that I absolutely love watching called Expedition Unknown, he's an archaeologist by trade, but he goes all over the world. And he even came out saying that he was about a year ago, was invited to take one of the dives on that same vessel, and he declined. Now, there have been many, many trips to go down to see the Titanic, many trips successfully.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's 13,000 feet below sea level,
2
folks.
miles.
That's 2 miles and
Over,
change.
yeah.
And they said today, from what I was listening, it would take over 2 hours
2.5
to bring that son of a gun up if it was still intact.
That's right.
And at that point, it's like divers.
Yes.
If you go down so deep, you have to take your time. Otherwise, you get all that
Right.
air,
Gas in
whatever.
it,
Right. So it's literally is unfathomable to think about this happening in today's technology. The other thing that amazed me when I saw the map and I was watching it on the news, I didn't realize the Titanic was that as close to Massachusetts as I saw the way they had it
900
plotted.
miles, they say.
I didn't realize. I thought it was so much further out
No.
in the ocean because of the iceberg.
Yes.
I
yes.
didn't think there were icebergs that close to the coast.
That's the only reason that some of the people survived was because they were that.
They were that close. I guess,
Right.
yeah.
But
Wow.
remember, back in the day, you didn't have global warming.
Right.
You had all of these big glaciers that were floating around
Right.
in that North Atlantic, right?
Mhm,
And so when they didn't see it and they ran into it and scraped it up pretty good, opened it up, people were saying to themselves, why was that iceberg there
mhm.
at that particular time?
Well, from
You know?
even back then, the goal they said they were trying to beat the record. So they were ignoring some of the weather conditions because they wanted to break that record, get to New York, and make everybody, the Titanic. And again, they were also ignoring. They didn't have, the technology to see icebergs. One of the sailor would climb up the mast and look out there with
Was it the
binoculars.
perch? What do they
Yeah.
call it?
Yeah, the perch, yeah.
The
Well,
perch.
back then it was icebergs, and today it's orcas.
Yeah, they're swimming up north because the waters are so warm. Yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
But listen, it's a sad thing that happens. This is going to sound like a really bad comparison, or maybe not. I don't know, because it was sort of the same thing. Is this any worse than when the space shuttle blew up?
I said this is the same.
Well,
To me, it's the same.
You say
Because
No, the space shuttle was worse.
me too. I agree with that.
it was visual. You could see it happen. It's right there in front of your eyes.
But
But
I
there
just
was
in terms
there was a purpose to go into space. This thing was a touristy thing. Oh, let's go down and see the Titanic and risk our lives. Yeah, you risk your life when you go into space, but we were looking to advance technology and do things and go to other worlds. The Titanic was more of a touristy thing, more of a fun thing, and they didn't have the preparation that they should have.
same amount of people though were lost on the space shuttle as on the submersible.
I thought it was like 7.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 7.
Was it 7
7 of them,
astronauts?
yes.
I thought it was 5.
And also, we know more about deep space than we do about deep.
No, I get that. I get that.
That's an
Yeah,
amazing.
but here's the thing about it.
The catastrophic result is really what I'm.
Well, it's the same thing.
But
basically.
here's the thing about it. Since the beginning of time, we as human beings have always wanted to do explore.
Mhm.
Right.
That's why you had Star Trek, man, and you
Mhm.
had all of those shows.
Mhm.
That went into our minds and said, man, anything is possible. We could go out there and do this. And now we have the technology to do it, but we're in such a rush
Mhm.
to be the first. Remember, even in the news blast, and man, we were the first man to get the information out. And sometimes when you want to be the first, you leave things out, man, and you make mistakes.
That's
And
right.
I think that's exactly what happened here.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah,
they
that's a
might have
great
even
point.
got like complacent. Oh, we've been down there a few times, so we'll be okay. We'll
Mhm.
fix it. We'll fix it.
Well, James Cameron was down there who did the damn movie The Titanic to
Yes.
explore that. So,
Right.
it can be
That was
done
25
safely.
years ago.
Right, and right. That's even more interesting is that was a quarter of a century ago when he did that, and here we are 25 years later,
Still.
and we still have an accident like this week.
Yeah,
You
this
would
is
think they
spooky.
would have some kind of regulations, or you said regular, but they didn't inspect the vehicle. Well, it only has 5 inches when it should have 7. You can't take
Well, somebody
it down.
knew there was. As a matter of fact, there was a whistleblower that worked
Right.
for the company that
That's
said
right.
it was only 5, and he was fired.
Yes.
for bringing it to the attention of corporate, no less.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you try to cut corners, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you do plumbing and you don't, you put different type of piping
The
in,
shit's gonna
and it's
blow
not good piping, what's going to happen?
It'll leak.
It's going to leak. It's going to blow open, and that's what they're trying to cut corners, and that's what they did.
Or you spend too much time in the bathroom if you have bad pipes. Anyway, with that, we're going to get ready to step aside.
Oh, comedy again.
Sorry,
That's
I
fine.
know.
And
For our first break of the show, where did the first segment go? It keeps going and going. I know. How can I tell you? You're watching the Roundtable. I got the Mouth. I got the Speedster. I got to call you the Flash. Can I call you the Flash?
You can do
Flash,
that.
did you have a nickname because of how fast you ran?
Yeah, they call me Black Magic.
that's fine.
Is that good for you?
Continue.
Because you
I'm all good. I'm black and I'm magic, so I'm good with it, man. What the hell? Hey, man,
That's it.
It's a good thing your last name wasn't Johnson.
That's right.
All right,
Right.
so let me try this again. Thank you for watching the Roundtable. I got the Mouth. I got Black Magic. I got the Voice. I got JPEG back there. We're just a bunch of
JPEG.
nicknames.
Is that what it is?
We're just a bunch of nicknames around here.
There
Don't
we
go
go.
anywhere. More to come. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
Maybe
Put that
half.
in the big note.
Hey, welcome back. That was a quick break.
We're back.
We're back. That was a quickie.
I like it.
Quickies. I had one the other night.
Oh
For my
boy.
birthday.
Hello.
Oh, by the way, I'm glad you said that.
Oh.
Happy birthday. Happy belated.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
belated birthday to the Mouth. He
Do I-
turned 87, but you wouldn't know it by the
I
camera.
look good.
He
Though,
darkened his hair. That's why you don't know he's only 60.
And I wanted to get as close to you guys as possible without shaving at all.
No, take the
'Cause
razor.
that's
Then you'll be
coming.
with us. No,
Yeah,
Mother
shaving.
Na- waiting for Mother Nature to do it's not the same as what we did.
Well, I'm hoping
Okay?
Mother Nature doesn't get involved at all.
And let me tell you, man, when water hits the ball head, dude, it's stimulation, man.
Oh,
It
yes.
stimulates everything. This, that, and the other.
This,
You
that,
know what I'm
and the
saying?
other.
Yeah.
I was in the pool. But anyway, John.
My girlfriend told me I'm not getting less hair, I'm getting more head.
Are you talking about forehead or what? What are you talking
I'm
about?
getting
Top
more.
of your head?
I'm getting some forehead tonight.
Merry Christmas.
As long as it's not foreskin, you're fine. Anyway.
Oh God!
Merry Christmas.
Jeez.
I didn't lose mine till I was 12, by the way.
Foreskin?
Oh,
Oh, you
gosh.
told me that.
Yeah.
That you had your circumcision,
Yeah,
your bris.
because of
Come
the
on.
the Jewish thing. And all
Well,
that
it usually
stuff.
happens 8 days after you're born. What the hell are you waiting for?
Well,
Oh, wow, I know that's
Holocaust,
right.
That's why. That's my mom was scared to death.
All right. We got scared to death. So I won't drive a BMW. When I get in, it automatically gets hot. Anyway,
This is what I come back to, folks.
welcome
Yeah,
back.
2
love
weeks
it.
away, right?
That's why I don't drive a BMW. But anyway, all right, we got a couple of good topics. And of course, coming up later in the show, we have America Speaks. I know George has a topic or 2 or 3 or 4 ready for
A couple.
that. Here's one, though, that George sent during the week for discussion, which I really kind of like. And this will be interesting to get John's take on this. Fox News, for whatever that's worth, is reporting that AI technology now can identify suicide risk in military veterans before it's too late.
And again, I try to find stories that are, AI is real popular discussion in today's world.
Mhm.
And anytime you can see, when we hear AI, we think, oh God, bad stuff. Anything can be good. Any new invention can be used for good and bad.
Sure.
But yeah, to detect suicide in veterans.
Mm-hmm. Did it give any details as to how the AI would do that ahead of time before? John, hold on. I have to defer to the former military personnel here in the room.
Please
John?
do it. I'd like to hear.
Is this the America Speaks segment?
It can be.
It
if you
can
want
be.
to
It's
say-
going to
yeah,
be too. But yeah,
It's whatever
part
you
of it.
want it to
Yeah,
be,
it's going to
John.
be part of
Well,
it.
I have a button I need to push here if we're going to do that segment.
Oh no, this was just a topic. Did
No,
you,
no.
was it-
Okay.
It's going to be
Never
part
mind.
of it. Yeah.
Never mind.
no, but I thought you had some wisdom to impart regarding that story.
Oh, no, not yet.
Great.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
All right. So does it say in the story as to how the AI is used to make these detections?
They're saying that the AI could detect, like when you're looking at a brain scan,
That's right.
and you could see some of your
So-
the area of the brain that controls feelings and emotions,
Okay.
that they would be able to tell when someone is depressed or on that.
So they would do this during like the medical exam before enlisting, or during?
Oh no, they were
checkups?
just talking about
Like an MRI
Yes.
or a CAT scan.
Yeah, it's not. They didn't say what kind of machine it was, but they said it would be something similar to that.
No, but at what time? Because this article is geared towards military. So what point would they do this?
Oh, I would. They didn't
scan
really mention
before
what-
someone enrolls.
Okay, so I get all of my medical care from the VA.
Right.
Every time, every single appointment, they ask you, how are you feeling?
Right.
You know, any thoughts of suicide? Blah, 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 blah. Because it's like, 21 a day,
Mhm.
3 a day. So if their doctor or the attending physician or the nurse or whatever has any indication that you might be at risk, they will then refer you to do some counseling and I would guess with this situation here, they would then send you over to, get that done.
So this actually has more applications than just the military, as in the title of the article.
Right. I
This
think
is
it's
something that
for
can be
humanity and any other person that might be, but they were
Okay.
talking about suicide maybe when you're actually serving
Okay.
and you have issues and you're feeling
Or coming
depressed
home from service.
right, or you were in fighting in a war and seeing death and all this
Sure.
other stuff and
Sure.
not being the PTSD.
Mhm.
They're trying to say that AI could probably help,
Mm-hmm.
diagnose, possible suicides and PTSD and kind of maybe use it as some kind of not medication, but as a treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Mhm.
John, when you came back from your tour back in the day, were you given a return home physical to see how you're doing physically, at least when you came back, as well as a
No.
mental assessment of all?
We had, before we left Okinawa, there was you had maybe a 2 or 3 or 4 minute kind of cursory physical,
Okay.
got me, and I think, I think it was more to make sure we didn't scare the shit out of people,
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you deformed? Do you have any big old scars on your
Gotcha,
face? Are you
right.
missing an ear? Or,
Gotcha.
So no, nothing.
Okay. I was
And
just
then-
curious.
Then the same thing just before you get out.
Right.
When you're getting out, it's just,
Okay.
just
All right.
They would-
Interesting.
Yeah, they're using AI to not just one singular event that may have happened to you, a
Right.
series of
So it could be
events over
ongoing
time.
testing and follow up
Right.
for the same.
Well, they're doing that with CTE as far as the football players are concerned as
Mhm.
well. They take you and they put the different
Probes.
connects probes on
Right.
your head and that whole deal, and then they turn it on and they can find areas where you have dead tissue and dead areas
Gotcha.
that are blanketed. That whole deal. Hopefully, they can catch this before you get bad and they can treat it.
Gotcha.
And
So it
which
has
is
the
a
same
great thing.
application.
Yes, same application. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Junior
usually when
Seau
you-
was
Yes.
in that boat.
Yes.
When you're
Fernandez.
usually the individual, it's up to the individual to seek help
Mhm.
for suicidal tendencies or issues.
Well,
And
with
AI,
But with men, we
Yeah, we
don't
don't
even
do
go. We don't even go to get our checkups.
oh yeah,
And so-
there's
and-
no
Shut
big
it
deal.
off, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Pussy.
Hey,
dirt
that's
on
the
it.
thing.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I'm trying to
Walk
hang.
it off.
I'm trying to hang around here for just a few minutes. It's called quality of life, not just living.
Yeah.
So I'm going, big dog. I don't know about you guys, man.
Yeah.
But I'm
I learned
going.
that lesson a few years
Yes,
ago.
sir. Yes, sir.
If I wasn't serious about it, I wouldn't have dropped the weight that I lost, which you and I still have to have that follow up.
Yes, sir.
Well,
We,
it's
we are
like,
going to do that, baby.
Again, back, I played high school football in the 70s and college in the 80s, but it was only when you got your bell rung, that's what it was. Get back in there.
Yeah.
Now we take it more seriously because players over a period of time after they retire, the effects start to take
Well,
place
Friday
later
night.
on.
What was that? Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
They showed that at the end there, where they wanted to.
Yes.
The coach wanted to jack up the running back's knee and the concussions and some.
Oh, yeah.
So listen.
But
we're-
what about what
Yeah.
about this, guys? Here's my thing. Even with the military, I'm just wondering: is this stuff starting early? When you play football at a little age, right, and they're out there tackling that whole deal, you don't really understand and know what you're doing, right? And the helmets on you are
Right,
loose,
10, 12
and they're
years
well,
old.
yeah, and you'll run around and you'll drop your head, and then you'll hit them, and you'll get the compression, and you get your brain rattled a little bit as a little one.
Mhm,
Where does it actually start? Does it start as a youngster,
mhm.
Pop Warner, or does it start at the pros where the collisions are just violent, or does it start in college?
To me, I think anytime you get your bell rung at any level, at any capacity, is like planting a seed.
Right.
Sure.
But you take these little kids in Pop Warner, right?
Which I officiated many of those
They're-
kids
Right.
for years.
They're
Like coast to coast.
they are not fully developed human
Right.
beings.
Right.
So they're still, their body is still growing, their body is still developing.
That's
So
right. That's
I
right.
saw kids when they're
anything like that has got to just snowball.
Absolutely.
And so therefore, if you go to the military, right?
Mhm.
And then if you go to the professional level, you're carrying all of that with
Right.
you. And then it becomes more severe, I believe,
I would agree.
as you get to that level.
I would tend to agree. I mean, when I officiated those Pop Warner games, man, I swear the equipment was heavier than some of the kids.
Yeah.
The shoulder
Right.
pads, the helmet, the knee pad. They got knee pad. I'm like, dude, how much you weigh? I weigh 5 pounds. You're weighing 30 pounds of equipment.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, it was crazy.
What do you run the 40 in? Maybe 30 seconds. Well, that's
right.
Listen, back in my day, I ran it in 4.5 once back in my
That's
day.
pretty.
hey, I'm gonna call you the Flash.
Right.
That was,
My
that was
goodness.
days, by the way.
You're,
No, I'm only kidding. What-
you're scaring me.
He's a different kind of Flash.
Anyway,
Yeah, well, yeah, you put a long coat on him, it could look like
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, what they're doing with AI, I think it's going to be
Yeah.
really important for our society to catch these diseases, man, before they really get real bad.
well, here's what's interesting. Why do we have to call it AI? Like you said, MRIs and everything else. Don't we already have the detecting equipment to look at the brain, to look for the spots and all that stuff? Don't we already have that?
Well, I think what artificial intelligence take place is the doctor almost. They'll have the artificial intelligence has the intelligence to
I
see
guess.
stuff.
When
That-
you
that a
think
human
about
can't.
it, if they have the entire content of the internet and libraries, you name it, all the medical. I mean, if we do this right, AI could be a great tool for humanity.
Sure.
And if we do it wrong, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Well, John uses the AI on some of the segments and commercials we use around here. So,
Yeah.
but no,
Yeah, some of the show hosts.
that's right. Some of
Right.
the shows are AI also. But it'll be interesting because I would love to know how soon this will be available so that anybody who needs it can have access to it.
Mhm.
Hopefully, Patrick Frazee,
Mhm.
it'll be covered under insurance to get these tests.
Right away, I bet it won't be.
And what do they? I mean, what
It
are
should.
what are MRIs cost now? Tens of thousands of dollars
Yes,
for
they do.
MRIs. What do you think this is going to cost
a lot.
without insurance?
Yeah.
So how many people will actually really be able to access it if your insurance doesn't cover it that really need this testing?
Not
That's-
very many.
Yeah, that's the
Because-
fear.
And especially the ones that really need it.
Yeah.
And like just right now, you talking about mental health, right? And they can detect it, but once again, they might be too late in detecting it,
Right.
and they go out and do their business, killing, shooting, or
Mhm.
whatever, abuse,
Mhm.
and all of those things going in. So I think if we can catch this stuff earlier, guys, if we can really, man, focus in on this, we can save a lot of lives. We can save a lot of problems, man, in a household.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of things that we can do with AI that can really help us, man, in advance of things getting bad
Right.
as far as a human being is concerned.
Now with technology, it's faster, faster, and faster, faster. Will it take years or only months now? Because technology seems to. I mean, you have to get a new cell phone every 6 months because mine's obsolete. Whatever. Every technology happens so fast.
Mhm.
Maybe we don't have to wait an extended period of time, 10,
Right.
20 years for all this stuff
Mhm.
to come. Maybe the next 4 or 5.
But how certain are we that when this technology comes out, it is 100% perfect in terms of the way that it is meant to be used? And here's what I mean by that. Tesla cars,
Mhm.
right, were supposed to be and they are, I guess, for anybody who can afford those vehicles. Everything was perfect, but then every once in a while you hear the stories. Oh, the car blew up while I was charging the battery, or this happened, or that happened, or
right.
the car. So how do we know when something is 100% foolproof, fail-proof, perfect to be used out there in any way, shape, or form?
It's
Ain't
not.
gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen.
I had to ask.
Nope.
Right? Ain't
It's
gonna
not.
happen.
Nope.
Nothing
Nope.
is 100%.
No,
No.
except
No.
death and tax. Well, maybe not
Everything-
taxes.
Everything we do right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got
No,
that.
no, but you,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is great technology, but how do we know it's as good as it can get before it's used?
Well,
They could test on
well, you know,
plenty of people, plenty of rats, but put somebody who really needs it. How do we know it's going to work effectively the way it's supposed
well,
to?
you know how that
help
stuff
this
is.
person 100%.
Technology
Look
comes.
at all the medications that they advertise
Right.
on TV,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's none of this shit works.
The
It
side
comes- it
effects are
comes in-
everything except death.
It
We're
comes in
trying to do the
stages.
best we can with what we know.
Right.
at
Right.
this
No,
point
I
in
get
time.
it.
Well, technology comes
Yep.
in stages.
There
Yeah,
you
now
go.
they got
Right.
this. Then as they're using it, oh wow, they'll find
Yes.
something else will come
The
up.
glitch.
That will come up,
Right.
and then they have to fix that, and then
Mhm.
another one will come up. It's an ongoing thing.
It's a process.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a process, Aaron and Edo deal, because naturally you have to have what? You have to have mice in order to test different, vaccines and all of those type of things. And then you see what happens to that little rat, and you're like, no, that one didn't work. Let's get him out of the way. Well, maybe we got to make an adjustment here. Then they'll get another rat and they'll bring it in and they'll give them a shot of the vaccine. So I think it's going to be that type of a thing, type of a search.
Can they do an MRI on mice?
Yes.
I think you do it on
It'd be a
anybody.
really small picture, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
they can do it.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why they have magnifying
I was
glasses.
going to say,
But
can
they
I get
move around
16 by
too much.
20s, please?
Sit still.
Yes, I
They
move
move
around. Put them in little cages. But anyway,
Yeah, put glasses on them. What the heck? You know?
well, as long as the operating manual is not written by Abraham Lincoln, I think we're okay.
Merry Christmas.
Anyway, all right. So I hope it comes through. Let's keep an eye on that because I'd love to see the progress on that.
I missed that. What was that? What was that meant to be? The comment, Abraham Lincoln. I missed that.
Well, if everything is real on the internet, especially if Abraham Lincoln wrote
if you see a meme that he goes, don't know.
Well, so,
Right. Okay.
So everything's true.
I
Abraham
get
Lincoln.
it now. Abraham. He said it. It's true.
Honest who? Honest Abe? Is that what they call the guy?
Hey, right now
Okay.
he's worth a silver coin or two. Or for me,
Merry
that's all
Christmas
I
and a
know.
Happy New Year.
Okay. There
All
we go.
Here's another story, and I'm going to save one of these maybe if you need it for America Speaks. But Rick sends me a message the other day, and I thought at first he was kind of kidding, but I know he's not. So he sends me the following quote in our message about what we're going to talk about, and he goes, and I quote, "Lab-grown chicken.
Oh yeah.
Lab-grown chicken has been okay to eat." So what did I do? I messaged him back, and I said, I thought that was the old rubber chickens that you would see comedians use.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and I was trying to find one to bring in today. I just didn't have time to get one.
I
But
got you.
I mean, lab-grown chickens. What are we talking about? Like Franken chickens?
It just sounds nasty to me.
How are they doing this, man? I mean, what they said they're taking something from an egg, from the embryo, and then they're putting it into a culture dish, right? And then they're growing this stuff simply because of the genetics of what they're doing with it, gang. I don't trust any of this. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're putting in it. And when the FDA said it's all good, I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
Well,
as far as I can throw them.
Where did you go with the old joke? What came first?
Yeah, the chicken or the egg.
Almost everything that you eat has been genetically modified in some way or another.
There you go.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's not, it's not that. I mean, think about it. You take a little tiny seed, right?
Right.
And you put it in the ground, and you put some water on it, and you get a carrot, or whatever.
Right.
So what is the difference between that and doing it in a lab?
Well,
How many gardens, all this stuff that they advertise, hey, have a garden in your house, the hanging gardens here and the hanging gardens there.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that doesn't make it right. That GMO, man, is some bad stuff because of what they use. So using this, I'm just saying they're taking it now to another level. Is this what they're doing when our folks go out into space? Mm-hmm. And what they do is they develop these packets and that deal for them to eat up there, the meals. Mm-hmm. Have they been doing that? How long have they been doing that?
Forever is the space
right
up there.
Yeah, so they've been working on this a long time.
Sure.
Well, how old is Tang?
Tang is real old. I think 1950s.
Yeah, I was going to say 60, 70 years old. I'm not sure exactly.
Tang or Putin? Never mind.
What, you mean Putin Tang?
No. I had a different Tang in front of it. The Rock used to say it a lot when he was around on TV. But here's what I want to say about that. A couple of years ago, reports came out that they were trying to bring back and clone the woolly mammoth.
Yep.
So, and I actually watched Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates when he was with people. They found tusks. They were trying to get some of the DNA out. Okay.
Yeah.
So my first question was, why the woolly mammoth? Why of anything and everything that they can bring back and clone? Well, was she giving me the answer?
Yeah,
Fox. She was giving it to you.
She was
the answer.
AI. Anyway, so here's the thing. Why don't we take healthy cows and healthy chickens and healthy fish that we do eat? Why are we not cloning them instead of doing lab-created sheep?
Well, like the chicken, they said they were taking.
We've cloned sheep.
Pulling the DNA out of the chicken and then growing it. So it's technically still.
I didn't say where.
from the chicken.
It is, but lab wise,
lamb chops, not
what are they putting
Haven't you
in
ever
it?
heard of Jurassic Park?
What are they putting in it?
That's
Hey,
why
look,
I don't want.
here's the thing about it. I look at our children today, right? I look back in the day when we were growing up in that whole deal.
Mhm.
Look, I had no fuzz on my face, none,
Mhm.
none whatsoever, right? I didn't have any pubic hair. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Now
Did anyone?
these kids now at 8, 9, 10 years old, 12 years old, the
Really?
girls are already developing, and the boys, man, I do football camps. These kids are already getting. They got the little goatee and stuff.
And from what, the food or the chemicals in the
Well,
food?
yeah. Well, so what's causing them to mature that quickly?
Chemtrails.
Yeah.
Oh God, here we go. With
Boy, man, this dude, man, he's in high
Where do we
cotton
find
back
him?
there right now,
Where do
right?
we find him over there?
I've been saving it up for 2 weeks.
That's true,
We're
yeah.
gone.
I know you.
Hey, he's been very quiet the last 2 weeks.
Oh,
yeah, right.
Oh, now
Boy,
you
you're
show
back.
up. Huh? Now you
Bam,
show
bam,
up.
bam.
Huh?
Jeez Louise.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
no, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely. It does make you wonder.
It
For
does.
sure. It makes you wonder what's out there. Why are people living longer?
yeah.
I mean, that has changed over the years. And people would say
Absolutely.
wine. I mean, and I say that half tongue in cheek, but how many of these what are they, centenarians, octogen, whatever they're called? They always say, what was the secret to living to 120? Well, I drank a glass of red wine.
Yeah, that's true. But also today, the mother, she's taking these vitamins and that whole deal
Right,
to make sure that the child is getting everything that they
Right.
need.
right.
Does that have something to do with it? I absolutely think that does.
And some of the medications that ladies are on, they are suggested to stop if they're going to be breastfeeding.
That's right.
So listen, there are many possibilities out there for all the shenanigans that are going on with what we eat, how we are growing up, like you said. And I see them in the schools that I work in. I work in elementary school,
Yeah.
and you see the early development of some of these kids, and it makes you wonder.
It does.
Now
Absolutely.
again, technology has allowed us to live beyond 100. If
Mhm.
we didn't have any of it, with middle age would be 40, and we'd all be gone. Or old age would be 45,
True,
50. We'd
true.
be gone already.
Yeah, we're coming up with all these different cancers now and all of these other different type of diseases that we're getting, and they're new. So what is happening for all of these new diseases to
Right.
start developing in our bodies? More cancer
Mhm.
is starting to show up
Right.
in folks at a young age.
Mhm.
Asthma, more asthma into the
Well,
children.
so we just
as well.
leave it
So-
alone. Just leave it alone and let nature take its course without using all this technology and the chemicals and.
Well, I don't
all
think
that
we can.
stuff.
It's like instant replay in sports. People say to you, well, we have the technology. We might as well use it.
Right.
Certain things you need technology for sports, keep the technology out of it. I'm an old school guy when it
Sure.
comes to that. It's played by humans. It should be officiated by humans.
Sure.
However, I
I
digress.
agree.
But if we have the technology and it makes sense to be used in areas of our society, I say go for it.
Sure.
And if it helps save a life from cancer or asthma or cure somebody of whatever, then I say we use it,
Sure.
but not abuse it.
Yeah. And
Well,
we can do that. We've already shown that with
Right.
what? Facebook and all of those other
Social
things that we
media,
have. Social
computer.
media.
I would love
Yeah.
to know what the suicide rates were before Facebook started to what they are now once Facebook and all the social media platforms, MySpace, talk about aging myself. But before all that started, when you have the pressure of society on you where you didn't have it because of social media back 30, 40 years ago. Look at the girl, and John, we're going to rerun this on tomorrow's Kiwanis Connects, but I interviewed a 6-year-old on Kiwanis Connects back in May. She's a royal princess, Charlotte Penelope, 6 years old,
Mhm.
just about to turn 7, I think, recently. She was bullied in kindergarten. Bullied, a 6-year-old.
I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
That stuff didn't exist when we were kids. Yeah,
Well,
you had.
no,
you
I
got
was bullied because I was
a little
Jewish
bit.
and had a big nose. I got bullied. No,
Yeah,
seriously.
but
no,
it was.
no.
But
I
it was
seriously
different
did.
then.
But it was
Back then, just when you went home, your mom and dad said, "If you get bullied, smack the guy in the mouth, the kid in the mouth." Boom. You
Well, I
could
did
back
send the
then.
kid into
Even
a
the
locker.
teacher would kind
I
of
did
just,
send
"Okay, good boys."
I did.
Nowadays, you get in trouble.
But
for
my
this.
point though is that the pressure of society, kids see this stuff out there about bullying and guns and games and
Right. Too young to be doing
that
that.
they're going to find a weak target, or in their mind, who is a weak target. This young gal, this 6-year-old, and I love her to death, Charlotte. Well, if you're watching, I love you.
Mhm.
We're rerunning her show tomorrow. If you didn't catch it in the past, grab tissues.
Mhm.
But here You have kids in her school, in kindergarten, in her class that bullied her at lunchtime.
And
Spit in her face, not once, but twice, and the school didn't do anything about it. So the parents pulled her out,
Sure.
homeschooled her.
Yeah.
Now her, you know what her platform is? Anti-bullying. She's going around the schools talking to elementary
God
kid
bless
students about not bullying. And she's going into the classes and having each of those students sign a certificate pledge that says, I will not bully,
God
and be
bless.
held accountable.
Yeah.
6-year-old.
Yeah. Why do kids bully
It's
anyway?
crazy.
Where are the parents at with this bullying? Are they at home bullying their sisters and their brothers?
Probably.
Are they doing it in front of their parents?
Mhm.
Well,
And the
so
parents
where are
aren't
the
doing anything
where are
about
the parents at and
Mhm.
saying that's not acceptable in the household?
Right, what's the definition of bullying? When I was a kid, I pulled my sister's ponytail, you know, that kind of
Back
thing.
then,
Or
it
she
pro-
would take,
Nowadays, it probably would be that something like that would be
You know,
considered
little
bullying.
I'm looking at the
stuff like that.
consistency of it.
Right.
If it's going on every day and I'm coming up to you,
Taking
hey,
my
where's
lunch
my lunch
money.
Where's my lunch money? All of that type
We
of
just
stuff.
showed our age.
Or when you're walking by me in the hall, I'll trip you or
Mhm.
anything of that nature.
Mhm.
That's bullying. That's the, and then you get on. Well, now you get on social media, and if I have you on social media, I'm really gonna give it to you.
And all the friends of that bullier.
but you
piles
can't
up.
defend yourself. That's what bothers me the most.
No, but this is after an event happens in person. This little
Well, no.
6-year-old was spat in the face not once, twice by 2 students in her class.
Then you fucking smack him in the mouth.
She's
That's
6
what
years
you.
old.
No, allow them to carry some mace. Mace won't kill you, right?
No,
To
but
carry-
a
let the-
6-year-old, she wouldn't have that capacity.
Little
I don't-
Greg, hey girlfriend, come here. I'm gonna teach you something.
Well, that would
Look,
be the parents.
I'm gonna teach you. Come
Just
here. I
like
want to
social
teach you.
media.
I want to teach you. I want to show you. If someone comes up and bullies you and they put their hands on you, I want you to spray this one time.
Right.
And that, I bet you 20-1 that will stop.
It
all.
would, but then the teachers would go, "What the?" Of course, it
But
would. There's certain
unfortunately-
things it would.
I know,
stop.
I know.
It
The school never did anything with these 2 girls.
Right.
So the parents.
So
pulled
it
them
just kind of.
It's unbelievable.
So
That's the part that bothers
so
me.
now
and
that
the
they-
accountability at home, like you're talking.
There's
It's
no
unbelievable,
responsibility, no responsibility for your actions for the
Yeah.
kids, none of it.
Hey, on that somber note and happy note around here,
It's happy.
we're going to step aside for our last break of the show, the Roundtable. We'll be back on the other side. We got America Speaks. And I think the last topic that I have, George may want to use for America Speaks, but we'll talk about it in breaks. So when we're done, you just come back and keep watching. Thanks. Hey, everybody. I am Aaron Phillips. You are.
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDBTV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
America Speaks.
That's right. America Speaks, everyone. This is where you, America, get to voice your opinion. Has nothing to do with Aaron, Rick, or myself, or even JPEG. Although every once in a while he'll raise his hand. But this is about you, America. We pick a topic and then we discuss it and we read the comments and then we might comment on the comments.
Banter about the comment.
Right. Well, as we all know, like Aaron said earlier, if you've been living under a rock, we had this submarine, that submersible submarine that went down to visit the Titanic, which it's done a couple times before. There was 5 guys on it, and we're now finding out today that they're obviously, we don't know the exact details, but some of the debris was found. And I was found it interesting. The Titanic director, James Cameron, breaks his silence on the submarine disaster. As we all know, he is the director of the highly successful movie Titanic, which was done 25 years ago, and he actually went down many times over the years.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first times was, 25 years ago or so. And of course, the Titanic tragically went down in 1912, took like 1,500 souls with him. But he's coming out and talking about how that many people in the community were very concerned about this sub.
Mm-hmm.
They had already been discussing this particular sub, how it wasn't ready to go. There's certain qualifications or the building codes were not built the way it should have been. He even wrote letters to the company saying that what they were doing was too experimental to carry passengers.
Mm-hmm.
So here's some of the comments based on this particular article that James Cameron had his conversation with. SWFLCP, I've done it 33 times, but they wouldn't listen to my warnings that people shouldn't be making the dive. That's how many times he went down there, 33 times.
With the same company?
No, different
just
company.
in general? Okay.
Yeah, well, the subs were different back then.
Gotcha.
They actually were smaller, but they had more equipment on it at the time.
Okay.
George Costanza wannabe. Oh, that's interesting. Call me insane, but I'll trust James Cameron, who's actually been to the Titanic ruins several times with his crew and conducted years of extensive research on this over any ocean gate of the week. Any particular comments on some of this stuff here that?
Well, it's like I think anything that I would think about responding to any of that is I think we kind of talked about at the top of the show. 13-foot deep pool sometimes makes people nervous.
Oh yeah,
You're not going down 13,000 feet in the ocean, but listen, you got shitload of money and you don't know what to do with it. You got to spend it somewhere. And these people said, "Hey, let's go on a sub that was clearly not ready for the dive."
Yeah,
John.
Okay, so James Cameron went down there, 85 or 30 times. The equipment that he used was first class, certified A1 equipment, right? It wasn't for commercial use to make a profit on. It was for safety. And that's the difference between what these guys did and what other people did.
It's a
When
good
they
point.
go down there for research, that's it. I mean, they're tethered, they're
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
and this is just, we all know that, hey, if I'm gonna make some money off of this, I'm going to cut all the corners that I can get away with, so I don't have to spend as much money to make money.
I agree with that totally. I got one here. I want Rick's response on this one. Just a person, 6, 7, 8, and just like with the Titanic, people died due to arrogance and bad design.
I agree because once again, it's almost like I said, like a plumber. Sometimes he wants to get the job done early and as cheap as he possibly can, so that people now he can start making money. And I think it's the wrong thing to do. And that's why the one gentleman said, I'm not going down there with him. I'm not going because it's not certified.
Now, when you just said, I'm wondering why this owner, why would you take a chance, charge $250,000 per person, and not do your due diligence and make sure that the sub was safe?
Because it had gone down before. Remember, it had gone down a number of times. This wasn't the first time that this vessel had gone down, and so he's thinking that it's safe. But this time, what he did was, and they said this. Remember, when you go down, there's stress on it, right?
Right.
Then when you come up, it does what? It goes back out.
Right.
Then when you go back down, you put the stress on it, and it could have weakened the whole structure of the vehicle.
Listen to this guy. The Fox says thanks. The Titan submersible got weaker with each dive, and Ocean Gate knew that.
Yes, sir.
They knew it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some lawsuits for that.
Well, like we talked about before, there was a whistleblower about the insulation within the company, and he was fired. So people don't want to hear it.
Well, it's too bad. It really is. I don't understand why. I don't think it's going to happen again. I don't think we're going to have tourists going down to the Titanic.
No time real soon.
Yeah, I think that's, and again, I think you're taking chances with people's lives when you do that. Rhino Slayer 342. Stockton Rush fired the 50-year-old white guy engineers and hired work replacements. And boom, the submersible imploded. There was some issues. I heard this again. You hear all kinds of crazy stuff on the internet that the owner was scared to hire white sub builders for fear of being told that he wasn't being diversified in hiring minority.
So an equal opportunity kind of hire in his mind.
Right. So now you got people saying this stuff. And again, I don't believe that's true at all. But again, I don't know.
To just hiring the best.
Just hire. I don't care.
Give me a pound on me.
Yeah, I don't care. As long as you know what you're doing, I don't care.
Listen, on this show, we're equal opportunity offenders.
Right, that too.
But companies should be hiring no matter who's qualified. Tall, short, white, black, yellow, purple, green, penis, no penis, it doesn't matter. If they're the best person, just hire them.
Absolutely.
Here's one.
Like we did with John.
Right.
Absolutely.
JPEG.
Well, sometime. Anyway,
Right. Well, it's Mr. Sophistication. Here's you mentioned, we talked about this earlier.
Yes.
It was basically a carbon fiber tank. Very similar construction to the high-pressure tanks used in hydrogen cars. The problem is the subcontractor was supposed to make it with 7-inch thick walls, and it was only made with 5. I wonder how they do the testing to decide how many inches about that. Bet they wish they had the extra
Crash
2 inches
test
right
dummies,
about
maybe?
1.5 hours into the descent.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
Again, this is comments from You America about this particular situation. Keep these comments coming. Most people here are in agreement that this sub should not have gone down without the more proper expertise in building it and all this other
That's
stuff. And but again, you had that billionaire and his son, that 19-year-old son. You know there's going to be lawsuits out of this, and God forbid the CEO died in the accident too. So I don't even know what's going to happen to OceanGate itself, the company. Is it going to fold? Or do you think
Well,
they're
if
gonna
he's
fix
smart,
it?
he should close up shop because ain't nobody else going to take a dive again. John?
So how much money was spent on the rescue efforts?
Probably millions, I would think. Again,
Hundreds and hundreds of millions. Who's paying for
I
that?
wouldn't say any rescue.
You,
We are.
me, you,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
99-cent store certainly isn't.
I went there the other day, man. Stuff ain't 99 cents no more, bro.
Buck and a quarter, buck and a quarter.
125.
That's right.
Okay, George, you have another topic there? Another comment or two?
Yeah, another comment or two. This story is so big it's going to be around for a little while. AM 1612. Why would anyone pay $250,000 to go 12,500 feet in a homemade tin can? Lacks common sense. Please don't call them explorers. They were arrogant rich men who bypassed safety regulations to make money. Now the U.S. taxpayer is paying to clean up their folly, as JP said.
Yeah, and it's true. And it's true. Look, guys, look, like you said, for me, regardless of how much money you have, you certainly want, even if you have money, don't you want to keep the people that you're around safe?
Yeah.
Don't you want them to be able to say, you know what, that was a safe trip. He took care of me. He had my well-being and in place, and he was thinking about me. I mean, the arrogance, man, of rich people, man, sometimes this is what happens.
Right.
Because once again, you're not God because you got money. You make money. Money don't make you. That's for sure.
That's right.
So what about other folks and their safety?
Right.
Don't you even just think about that?
Not even your own. You didn't even think about your own.
I had to have a guy named Cash next to me to make sure I had enough cash with me all the time.
Oh, here's one. Zombie meth squirrel. Oh, a squirrel that's doing meth that turned into a zombie.
No wonder why they're running
Right.
crazy.
I remember signing my
I was
life
looking
away.
for nuts.
Yeah, I remember signing my life away on forms before going whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
These are red flags that people don't know what they're doing.
But how do we know people didn't sign, though, disclaimers?
Well, I am sure they did.
I'm sure they did.
They had
Yeah.
to have. It
So
would have
much
been
for
insane
insurance
for them.
rates for the company. That's why the company's going to have to close. Their insurance company's not going to cover all that stuff.
No, it's not.
4 or 5
Oh,
families?
Are you talking about the divers or the guys that went down?
Yes.
The 5 people?
They
in the-
well, they
yeah,
signed a
they're-
disclaimer. They had to.
Oh
Have.
yeah, they
Absolutely.
read the disclaimer.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
and it tells you that you can die.
Yeah.
And that you are waiving your rights by doing this.
Yeah.
And, emotional trauma, all of the things that it listed that can happen to you down there. And one of the things was death.
I can die crossing the street. I didn't sign no stinking waiver for that.
And remember, we as people, we're always pushing the envelope,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How much farther can
More
we go
thrills.
out beyond Mars?
Yeah.
Can we reach Jupiter? Can we reach the black hole out
Yeah.
there and see where it takes us?
Mhm.
We're always going to push the limits, guys.
And
And
you have adventure junkies. They just want to keep pushing the
That's
limit
right.
to do more and more and more. Not even going off into space, but you have mountain climbers, you have parachute jump, you have all of this stuff. People just want that thrill of excitement, and they keep pushing to find new
Here's
things.
one last one,
All
which will end on a perfect note.
Okay.
Loose Nut 53. I like some of
Yeah.
these names are funny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get in that thing if they paid me the $250,000. That's the end
Not
of
for
that.
250,000.
No.
Pay me 250 million that I can immediately will to my family.
That's right.
Maybe I consider.
But
Yeah,
I
for
want to
me-
be around to spend some of it, man. What
That's
you talking
right,
about?
Personally, I was thinking,
Yeah, let
part-
my family work for their own money.
You did
right. I personally thought, how cool it would be to survive an expedition like that. But one guy said it was so lonely down there. They got lost for 3 hours. Some guy said when he went down a few years ago, he said
Mhm.
they got lost for 3 hours and he started contemplating his life and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he went down an atheist and came up a Christian.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And
Praying to God, you get up.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm not going to go 13,000 feet below the.
But here's the thing about it, guys. What do the guys do with Mount Everest? They try to get to the top of that, and that's what, 15,000
No,
feet,
29,000.
29,000
That's the
feet.
highest mountain in the world.
So what's so different about them going down to the depths and knowing that if you're going, man, and trying to defeat Mount Everest, bad things can happen to you, right? And how many times has it happened?
Well, the thing about Mount
Tons of
Everest,
times.
More times than people actually making it.
Right.
something like, people die all the time on Mount Everest. People do it all the time now.
Right.
There's no scientific satisfaction to climb Mount Everest. It's just a personal, physical,
Like a
mental
long
thing.
hike.
Yeah, there's no. So to do that, yeah, I guess it's cool to plant the flag up there. Yeah, I did it. But now
That's how my parents got to school.
Up and down.
jumping,
Uphill
walking
both
up.
ways.
Both hills.
I had to walk 29,000 feet a day to get to school. You remember?
Uphill both ways.
Both ways.
And
Right.
And snowshoes.
I think people should take more responsibility, man, especially when you're taking other people, other folks, their
Doing risk
families, and
like
that whole
that,
deal.
yeah.
Boy, the risk, man, is just too much. And that, like I said, signing a disclaimer and that whole deal, I would sit there, man, big time, and just sit there and say, do I really want to sign this thing? And do I really want to go? Because if anything happens, that's it.
Well, if you get to the point of where you have the papers in front of you that says
Could die.
you could die, wouldn't you kind of have a thought about that before you even think about going on the fucking trip? Besides waiting to put your name on the dotted
And I
line
think
that
the
says,
word-
okay,
Yes.
I won't hold you responsible if I blow up.
Unless you're with a group of friends.
Unless
Because you don't want to be the one
That backs out.
The
Right.
influence, huh? The influence.
And the heavy word in that is you could. Didn't say you will. You
Right.
could. So that's what makes people go, well, what the hell? It's been done.
you have 99% chance of dying,
Yeah.
but that 1%
Oh,
Right.
Lord.
And they did
will
it.
keep you hooked.
And they've done this for 5 years and done over 400 trips. Okay, I'll do it.
Right.
And that's the
Absolutely.
one.
Not
And that's
doing
the one that happens.
No,
Not
absolutely.
doing it, guys. I'm like this, man. I survived, man, professional football and all that type of stuff. I'm not putting my life on the line anymore.
Right.
Period.
I don't blame you.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
Well, we only have a couple of minutes left. I want to save the story about the school indoctrination conversation that you had sent me for next week. So
Okay.
let's make sure we save that. The things that are scaring kids today is not the things you would think in this
I
article.
was shocked when I
Not
read
drugs,
it,
not grades, nothing. There's one thing in particular that's scaring the bejesus out of young kids today.
which is ridiculous.
And it'll surprise you, but that's because of how kids are being indoctrinated because of news and what we're hearing
Right.
on social media and everything else. So we're going to leave it there.
Wow.
I know we're a minute or two early. That's okay. I have dinner to get to, and George has to go to the other side of the planet to get home.
I do.
Rick is not far from here, and John is he can freaking walk here on his knees. if he
Doesn't he
wanted.
stay here though? Doesn't he live here? Does the office?
Kinda,
the
he's real
bed, the
close. You know,
bathroom?
I
there's
have a cot in the back.
Yeah, he's got a cot, a fridge. He's got a microwave.
He's got everything in
Good.
there.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, if you want to do a show like we do, maybe do it better than we do it. Just
Never.
give a
Nobody
call.
does it better.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
No
it
one.
better.
Oh my God, 12 dogs just rolled over.
Yeah, there you go.
In the park.
Come on, let's wrap this shit
I'm
up.
trying to, but I'm being distracted by these guys.
Okay.
Anyway, if you do
Blame it
want
on
to do your
everybody
own show, you want to
That's what we
sponsor a show here on the network, reach out to John at WWDBTV.com or 702-992-3207. Come on board. By the way, I provide podcast training here at the station. So if you've never done it before but want to, hey, I can help you do that too. But more importantly, get your message out on a platform perhaps you've never thought of. George, final thoughts as we say goodbye, sir.
Kind of. I always say keep your head above water.
Better change that this way.
Well, this week, no, I'm telling you, keep your head above water, man. Do it. Don't go deep. Don't go deep.
Guys, my prayers go out to the families.
absolutely.
My prayers also go out to the responders as well. They were
Yes.
out there in danger as well. So, and gosh, what a tragedy. But, my prayers are out to the families and the
Absolutely.
responders.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to have you back in studio, sir.
It's
good
to
to
be
be
back,
back,
man.
man.
It's
Good to
good
have
to
you
be
back
back,
here.
guys. It's good to
The
be
only
back.
sub-
I've been looking for you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, see,
I know.
the only sub I want to worry about on a day in and day out basis is my number 16 at Subway. That's the sweet teriyaki chicken. That's the only
Oh,
sub I really care
jeez.
about. Anyway, guys, listen, thank you for watching. Next week, we'll be back here in the saddle doing it again. If you'd like us to talk about something that you have in your mind, just go to our Facebook page,
Yeah.
The Roundtable Show. Put it out there,
Yeah,
man.
put it
We'll be
out
happy
there.
to pick it up. And by the way, if we pick your topic, you too can possibly receive a shirt as lovely as one that Rick or George is
And
wearing.
the more
Love
controversial, the better.
That's right, for George's
Oh,
sake.
we also have beautiful hats.
That's right.
That's
We
what
can
you
get the
want. You
That's
got to
it.
have one of these.
And
right?
I'll tell you what, if you get a hat for an extra $100 pennies, Rick may sign it for you. I don't know.
Yep, I will.
I don't know.
I will.
But anyway,
100 pennies?
well, It sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
Well, not really. Not when...
Anyway, put it on there. As I always like to say, be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all we have. Tomorrow, Kiwanis Connects is a replay. Saturday, Thoughts Count Anywhere. Melina, former WWE superstar, will be joining us to talk about UWW4 on Sunday. And on my show, Aaron Zauer with Aaron Phillips, which is great because that's my name, because otherwise it would be really silly if it wasn't. Mike Powell, author. What's the name of his book, John? Help me out. You got it sitting.
Escaping the Kill Zone.
There, Escaping the Kill Zone. Used to
There
work
you
for
go.
the LAPD and other services that if I share with you, he'll kill me when he comes in on
Oh
Saturday.
boy, no.
Thank you for watching.
want
We'll see you
that.
next time right here on
The
Roundtable.
Ooh, that was